Here, public service announcement talking about one of the biggest health risks to my friends, family members, and the world at large. Depression is something that's been heard a lot about lately. I've heard a lot of people say things like, I don't believe in depression, or, well, if you would just believe in God, He would make all of your sad feelings go away. Or maybe, well, I bet if you just think happy thoughts, those things will go away. Now, a lot of these things do help out a lot when it's regular sadness that you're feeling. It's not a bad thing to try to get closer to, a religion or God, or to try to think happy thoughts and get yourself out of a sad situation. It's not a bad thing to try to reduce stress in your life. But depression is something more than that. Major depressive disorder is an illness that is often caused by an imbalance of chemicals in your brain. It's something that is more than just mental. We call it a mental illness because it affects how your mind works, but that doesn't mean that it's all in your head, as they say. If you believe that everything will be great, then that's fantastic. But you can still have depression even if you have a positive outlook on life. Take myself, for example. I'm a straight A student. I definitely believe in the power of doing your best. And, I think that I can make it. But that doesn't change the fact that I have major depressive disorder. Sometimes, when I'm all alone at my house at the end of the day, I just don't see why I'm alive or why I keep trying. I don't understand, even though I have so many friends and family members who care about me, why I don't feel loved or why I feel so lonely. Well, at least that's how I felt until I started getting treatment for the major depressive disorder that I have. Once I went to the doctor, even though when I was in the doctor's office I had a panic attack, I was kind of afraid he was just going to tell me, oh, nothing's wrong with you, or just say, kind of imply, yeah, I don't believe in that depression thing, you're just a little bit crazy. But once I got on the medication, I started to feel a whole lot better. I started to see things from my regular, normal viewpoint again. I was able to feel happy. I was able to look around at the world and see things that were beautiful and to feel them inside where I hadn't been able to feel them for a while. I was able to get over things that were sad. I was able to move on with my life and to be more successful and happy. Outside, the things that other people saw didn't change much. I'm always happy and upbeat when I'm around other people, or at least I pretend to be, but that doesn't mean that's how I really feel all the time. I haven't cried as much since I got on the medication, and that makes me feel really good. Now, suicide is one of the leading causes among teens in the United States. One of the main causes of suicide is major depressive disorder. There's a lot of reasons that teens don't recognize that they need treatment or don't seek treatment once that they recognize it. Sometimes it's because they have adults in their life who say, well, you just need to think more positively, or who don't understand exactly what depression is. And if a teen talks about suicide, they just blow them off or change the subject. Sometimes, like in my case, I know I was ashamed to admit the feelings that I had. I was ashamed to admit that I felt that bad about life, and I was definitely scared to talk to anybody about the suicidal feelings that I felt. Now, it's easier now because I don't feel that way as much anymore, but when I did, life was really hard. I've had siblings and family members who tried to commit suicide or have told me that they felt like committing suicide. I've encouraged them to get treatment, but that doesn't mean that's what they do. But those that have, my mom, for instance, she struggles with PTSD disorder, and she also struggles with major depressive disorder, along with a slew of other health problems. But she said for her, once she got on the medication, it was like life went from being in the middle of a horrible storm into just being a cloudy day. It didn't make everything perfect. She still struggles with life. She still has problems. But you know what? It's a lot better now than it used to be. The same thing happened with my little sister who got on medication recently. And everybody can tell the difference in her attitude, her thoughts, and her feelings because she's been on medication. Now, I know a lot of people feel not so great about the idea of taking medication. The thing is, you have to remember, when you have diabetes, you go see a doctor. The doctor gives you medication and helps you feel better. Now, when we have a mental illness, a lot of times people say, what, you're going to take a miracle drug to make you feel better? Yeah, because that's great. Let's just regulate our whole society with hormones so that we can't feel normal things. Then you can just always feel happy no matter what you do, whether it's good or bad. And then are your emotions really real? But the fact is, that's not how depression medication works. If your body doesn't have enough of the correct hormones and the uptake inhibitors and so on, if you're not producing the correct amount of chemicals to actually feel happy, then the fact is that you literally cannot feel what other people can feel. And once you have enough of those in your system, then it works. It's like saying, oh, what, you feel bad because you're thirsty? Well, don't go take a drink of water, because that water might just make you feel falsely, better. But really, it's more like eating food or getting a medication that you need to make your body work properly and in a normal way. I don't feel like my moods are fake or like, I'm living some kind of fake life because I'm being medicated for something that's wrong with my body. I think we should move away from the idea that depression is a mental illness, that it's all in your head, and to the idea that depression is something that's physically wrong with your body. As a matter of fact, depression can also often be a symptom of other major problems, such as thyroid problems or like diabetes. So it's important, if you feel depressed, you should get checked out. I mean, it's not like it's going to hurt anything to tell someone, hey, I'm not feeling so great. Maybe it'd be a good idea to go talk to someone about this. I wish that I'd done it sooner. I waited until I was like 22, and I'd been feeling depressed since I was about 15. That was 7 years when I just did not feel normal. I did not feel good. I mean, there were times in my life I was happy, falling in love is always great. And, there's so many fun things in life, and I had great times in between those depressive episodes. But there are a lot of things that I could have been helped with. And there's a lot of people that might watch this video that could be helped out too. Don't be afraid to seek help. Don't be afraid to tell someone to seek help. And don't be afraid to support someone or let them know it's okay if they have depression. We shouldn't look down on people just because they have an illness, even if we don't understand exactly what that illness is. So share this video. Let someone else know it's okay to have depression. It doesn't mean you're a depressed person or that you've been labeled as a bad person. It doesn't mean that just because you have depression doesn't mean that you are naturally going to be worse off in life or anything like that. It just means there's something wrong with your body that can be fixed. Thanks.